I'm telling you, this is it. I'm telling you, I feel it in my bones. I really do.
It is Monday, July 28th, 2025, and this is your Mining Disrupt News Surge. Please scan that QR code right down here, right in front of this cowboy hat, because that is probably the simplest way for you to get your tickets to the Mining Disrupt Expo, the second one happening this year, this time in Dallas, Texas. That's right, the home of mining, Texas, in the United States, which is arguably and soon to be inarguably the home of Bitcoin mining in the entire world. The United States is positioning itself to become the home for Bitcoin in the entire world. And when I say home, I mean everything that we would want for Bitcoin: infrastructure, banking, all of the stuff, just the entire framework around what that means. Even though we're going to be looking over the Bitcoin numbers, I want you to remember that this is where you come for entertainment and education, not financial representation. That's not me. I'm not that guy. Right now, we are looking at a $2,000 decrease in the price from where we were at last week. That means we're at $115,520, which is still well above the previous all-time high set earlier this year of $111,000. On-chain fees low, unconfirmed transactions actually in the 5 digits right now, 67,000. That's a little bit higher than we've been seeing recently. I have some good news and I have some not so good news, and it's actually the same news actually. So how could that be? Well, let me just tell you what that news is and then break down exactly how that might work for you. But before I go into that, I got to ask you a question. Is there anyone, I mean anyone on the planet that cares about you? Do you have a sibling? Do you have a parent? Are you a son or a daughter of anyone? Are you a grandson? Are you a nephew? Are you a niece? Are you related to any other human on the planet? I'm guessing there's a really good chance the answer to that question is yes. Yes, you are a son. Yes, you are a daughter. So following that line of questioning, do any of those people that are somehow related to you at all, do any of them care about you in some way at all? I'm sure there's some people that have burned so many bridges they would struggle to answer that question with any kind of affirmation. But I'm guessing most of us can say, yeah, my mom, my dad, my brother, my wife, my fiance, somebody out there cares about you.
Next, huge news. Trump opens U.S. retirement market to crypto investments.
Trump set, and this isn't some wackadoo, what a Reddit tier website. No. This is the Financial Times. This is a relatively respected website. Trump set to open U.S. retirement market to crypto investments. President preparing executive order to allow 401k plans. 401k plans. Are you aware of what those are? Plans to tap broad pool of alternative assets.
If the goal is to debase the dollar,
yep,
which grows nominal GDP, which devalues the debt to GDP, that's the whole point. We cannot have debt to GDP at 130%. That number's got to come down.
Yep.
It comes down by printing money, by debasing the dollar.
Yep.
You can debase the dollar against gold, against Bitcoin. How do you get gold and Bitcoin to everybody?
And that's a really good question. How do you get people with gold, with retirement funds, with ETFs, how do you get them to buy Bitcoin? How do you do that? Do you shove it down their throats? No. This is where this potential executive order would come in. If it just said, look, you can now put money, you can move retirement money, 401ks, maybe Roths, maybe you can do that. Thumbs up, you're allowed to, have at it. And then financial advisors, whether they've got their heads stuck in the sand or not, will start to see, The funny thing about a Bitcoin allocation is that 3% would have blown basically everything else out of the water. Anything else that we've done for the last 15 years would have been beaten by just a paltry 3% Bitcoin allocation. So, Mr. Jones here, I guess we should probably do that. Let's just start with the bare minimum of 3%. And Mr. Jones would be like, well, if 3% was that good, why would we stop at 3%? I want you to move more of my 401k into that. Now, this brings me around to what I was saying a little bit earlier. I said it's good news and it's bad news. Here's the good news. If there is anybody on this planet that cares about you, even a tiny little modicum, a suggestion of care or concern for you, there's a chance that you are in that person's will. If you are a son or a daughter, which I'm pretty sure you kind of have to be a human on this planet, then you possibly have a parent that cares about you. You also possibly have a parent that cares enough about you to put you in his or her will. And then what does that mean? What does that mean for you? What does that mean for your mother, your father, your aunt, your uncle, grandpa, grandma? What does that mean? That means some of what they have tied up in these different accounts will almost certainly be funneled into Bitcoin, which means that as time goes on, and if you are in one of those individuals' wills, you are almost certainly going to end up with Bitcoin. That's the good news. The bad news is if it takes that long for you to get some Bitcoin, then the amount that you get at that point in 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years from now is almost guaranteed to be orders of magnitude less than what you could get today if you adopted, if you understand what this thing was. So that's where I'm going to leave you this week. Take the time to try and understand what this thing is. Read some books, listen to some podcasts, tune in here each week to understand what this is. And most importantly, if you want to get the best education about Bitcoin that you possibly could, talk to miners. Miners understand this thing better than anyone. And oh, wait a minute, where can you talk to miners? Right here, that QR code in the description. Buy your tickets, get your tickets to Texas, be there on the ground floor, literally the ground floor. You're going to be walking around the convention center, talking to people, understanding how this thing works. And you will see firsthand, this is not just a little flash in the pan, silly little industry where people are playing with trinkets. No, this is the big boys. This is the big leagues. This is real big time. And it's impressive. It is impressive. Get yourself there, meet me, meet the crew, meet everyone, meet all of these different vendors, and learn about Bitcoin from the ground up. I'll see you next week.